What's up, guys? Today we have a little addition going into the home theater. This is the Hisense 55 S7 Canvas TV. And thank you to Hisense for sending this over for me to review and also for this little home theater project. Let's go ahead and get this thing unboxed and set up. Inside we get a pair of plastic feet if you are not going to be mounting this on your wall. Here's the accessories bag with the remote control, the power cord, the batteries, and the manuals. Here's the included frame, which I believe comes in a teak color, although you can probably get it in some additional colors as well. This also includes the slim wall mount. Now, what makes this such an effective looking display to show off paintings is that it does have a very highly matte screen. So as you can see, I have this tube light, which looks like a lightsaber. I am shining it directly on the TV set, and you can see how diffuse the light gets. Now behind it, I have a 98-inch television set, and you can see how the reflection is, it looks like a mirror compared to the Hisense. So you can see as I cross over how much anti-reflective that the Hisense is compared to the TV set behind it. So this set would look great during the daytime. However, since the screen is so matte, this is why, you're probably not going to pick up this TV set for the absolute best black levels and contrast, because this matte screen is really going to make your blacks just come across more gray, if anything. So it's really, this main function of this TV set is to show off paintings and artwork, just to be left on all day, rather than being the absolute best for video quality. So keep that in mind. But again, it's called the Canvas TV for a reason, and that's why. All right, well, this TV does run on Google TV, Android version 12, and this is your standard Google TV user interface. So you get your tabs up top here. So you get your For You section, which is some recommended things that Google thinks that you would be interested in. Also, there's the Live TV section as well. Here is all of your downloaded and previously installed apps in this section here. And then for your library is everything that you have purchased. But really quickly, let's just take a look at some of the settings that we have. We got your picture mode here. We've got your theater, day, night, energy savings, sports, standard, vivid, and then filmmaker mode, which I'm just going to keep it on filmmaker mode for now. You can apply all of those picture presets to all sources, or you can specify whatever source you want. Under general, we have content type auto detection, intelligent scene on or off, the automatic light sensor, so this will automatically dim or brighten depending on your ambient light in your room, auto white balance, you got your brightness slider, dynamic backlight control, we've got off, low, medium, and then high, and then we got sliders here, your dark detail on or off, you can choose what gamma, active contrast, HDR enhancer. You can adjust the color, clarity. So if you want to get that soap opera effect, you can do that as well here. There's smooth gradient control, motion enhancement. I'm just going to keep that off because I'm not a big fan of the motion enhancement. And then calibration settings. If you do want to have this professionally calibrated, you can go about it. However, I don't think many people are going to be buying this TV for the absolute best picture quality, but the option is here if you want to do that. Then you can reset all your picture settings there. And then under the sound settings, we got your TV sound effect. So this will give you DTS X Virtual or DTS Virtual X to give you a pseudo surround out of the TV speakers. We got a few different sound modes here. Under advanced settings, we've got auto acoustic tuning. You got an EQ with a few different bands. Wall mount setup or tabletop. So if you're going to put this on your wall, this should give you slightly better audio or better low frequency effects if you want to put this on your wall. Auto volume control, you get your volume level there, lip sync delay, then you can reset all. This does have EARC built in, so if you want to pass the audio over to an external device such as a receiver, preamp, soundbar, you can get the best audio there if you want to use EARC. HDMI audio device guide, this will give you a little walkthrough. This is WiSA speaker compatible, so if you have WiSA compatible wireless speakers, this will hook directly up to those. Or if you just want to use this for audio only, you got that option there. So of course, this being a smart TV, you do get a lot of your major streaming apps. And if you want to download more, you can go into the Google Play Store and download that as well. What you would do here, all the way at the end, you can go into Add Apps. This will bring you to the Google Play Store. And of course, this does support HDR10, HDR10 Plus, Dolby Vision IQ, Dolby Vision Gaming. So if you are a gamer, you want to game in Dolby Vision, you got that there as well. It's got a 144 Hertz refresh rate. And this is a QLED TV set. Now this is an edge-lit QLED display, so there is no local dimming. Therefore, black levels and contrast isn't going to be this TV's strong point. But seeing how the screen has such a high matte finish, it really isn't much of a surprise. Again, that is not the point of this TV. Now, as the name would imply, it being called a canvas TV, most folks are going to buy this to use as an art piece, either in their living room, maybe in some sort of a showroom, and they're going to use this to show off some artwork. So you got a few different options for this. So if you want to go ahead and hit the back button on the TV's remote control, this is automatically going to bring up the screensaver mode from Google. So this is built into the TV straight from Google. If you press on the down button, you can go to your settings here. So you can choose to show photos from either Google Photos, which is your own photos uploaded to your own Google account, your art gallery, and then you can go choose their custom AI art. So with the art gallery, let's go ahead and choose that. And then you can see here that we can scroll through all of these Google curated photos. Or if you want to go with custom AI art, you can choose whatever you like, and then you can scroll through. Now under the settings here, this is where you would select what you want to see for your screensaver. So you can either pick your own Google Photos. So if you have family photos, stuff like that, you can choose your own Google Photos, which is in your Google account. You can choose the art gallery, or you can choose the custom AI art. Here you can show the weather. You can either hide it, you can choose whatever Celsius or Fahrenheit, or you can show both, which would show up on the photos. You can show the time. So let's just choose show personal photo data. So if the photo has an artist name attached to it, you can show or hide that section here. For portrait Google Photos, if you have some vertical photos or horizontal photos, you can either show or hide those, or you can show them in pairs. Then you got the personal photo curation, automatically curated by Google. And then you can choose your slideshow speed. You can choose between 5 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. And this is the inbuilt Google Screensaver app, which you can always invoke by pressing on the back button. So as you can see here, we did make a couple of changes. So we've got the name of the artist on the lower left-hand corner. Then now we also have the time on the lower right-hand corner. Now, if you don't want to use this, we can back out of this, click on the home button, and then we're going to scroll down, go over to Hisense's own art mode. Now this will come with over 1,000 free art pieces or art photos. Now everything here is in high resolution. You can choose what you want to look at by choosing the left and right arrow, and you can scroll through any one of these. So as you can see, again, this is high resolution. This actually looks like a painting. So it's actually got the cracks in the paint itself, which makes it look like it's actually painted. Now, if you want to change some of the settings here, you would choose the center button or the OK button on the remote control. And this will give you a few different options here. We've got the art gallery, which is all the photos that are built into the television itself. Again, this comes with photos already from Hisense. So you don't have to subscribe and pay a monthly fee or anything like that. You've got photo collections, so you can add your own photos to this if you want. And then we've got immersive atmosphere. So if we go to this, we'll choose this, and this will actually show some artwork and then also play music in the background as well. So that's a nice little option if you want to have a little background music playing. So if you're at a party or something like that, that might be a nice little feature. So let's just go back over to the art galleries. You can choose what you want to see. We've got landscape, we got figures, modern, still life, and then we have the others section. So let's just go over to figures. We'll pick the Mona Lisa. And then if you click on the menu button on the lower left-hand corner of the remote control, This will bring up your settings. So right now we've got your art mode settings. So for night mode, you can turn this on or off. So this will use the ambient light sensor to detect a major difference in the light in the room from light to dark, so that at night, when there is no light in the room and art mode is on, the TV will go to sleep. So that way you're not wasting electricity. You can do the motion detector on or off, so if you are passing in front of it, the screen will click on or off. So after enabling motion detection, the artwork will be displayed based on the surrounding motion situation, displayed when there are moving objects in the same space, and it goes to sleep when there are no moving objects, once again to save on power consumption. And you got some different settings for this. You got sleep timer from 5 minutes up to 4 hours. Quiet hours, you can specify your quiet hours when this is active. Then rotation, we can go in order at random, or you can disable rotation altogether. Then you can choose the rotation time. Painting information on or off. So if you want to see the name of the painting, this will show up on the bottom half of the screen. We got BT music, so you can connect your phone and other devices through Bluetooth to play background music in art mode. Then photo theme, we've got animated, magazine, spliced album, and then multi-photo frame, recollection or recollection, and then no theme at all. And then you can reset all the settings here. All right, so the next option here, we've got your matte settings. So right now we have no matte around the photo or the painting. If you want to go with a smaller matte, this will put the little white matte around the edge. We've got a medium-sized matte, and then we have a very large matte. In the next section here, we've got your brightness settings. So right now it's at 0. If you wanted to go really bright, we can max it out at 50, or go all the way down to the minimum. We'll go down to a -50, which is really dim. You can adjust your contrast. So if you want a bit more contrast to the image, so we got a +20 or -20. This all, of course, is to taste. Same thing, we got your black level from a +20 down to a -20. Then we've got your automatic light sensor. Right now we've got it off, so it's on, I believe, 50% on the brightness mode, but it's pretty dim in my room right now. So you can see with it on, since the room is somewhat brightish, you can see it automatically dim down the television set. Then if you turn it off, it's going to bring the brightness back up to where you previously set it at. Then the next section here, we've got reset, and then we've got the background music option, which you can add your own music to. And then for BT music, again, if you want to use your mobile device, you can send music over to the display. And then detector upgrade, so if there is an upgrade, it would show up on the set, but we already have the latest version. Now, if you want to make this look even more like a painting, let's go ahead and install the frame. All right, so what we got here is we have the bottom part of the frame. So this color is called teak. It's supposed to look like teak wood. So what we're going to do first is we're going to fix the bottom. So this one actually has little cutouts for the controls and the sensor and all that. And there's also really strong magnets built into this. So what I'm going to do is just attach this to the bottom here. And it'll just clip right into place, and then it's really strong. The magnet is really strong, so it's not coming off. I mean, if you pull on it, if you've got kids or something like that, then yeah, you can pull it off. But there are some screws included in the set that you can screw the frame together. So if you want it to be a little bit more secure, you can go that route. All right, so once you get the bottom on, the next piece is going to be the top, which clips right on. Then we'll take both side pieces. So you're going to do the top and bottom first, and then the side pieces will actually slide right into the notches on the top and bottom pieces. So that way it keeps everything affixed, nice and firm. Now, if you want to get the frame a bit more secure, this does come with these little angle brackets. So what you would do, you can see in the back of each frame, you'll get these little 4 holes. You would take the bracket, and then you would just snap them into place. And then once they're in, you can see that this will keep everything locked. So that way you can't pull the frame apart. And you do that for all 4 corners. Now I gotta say, once you add the frame to the television, and then you add that faux matte around the painting, this legitimately looks like a very high quality fake painting. I mean, if you're at a distance, like I'm about 3 feet away from the TV, and this looks really good, especially if you keep the brightness down at a lower level. It looks pretty convincing. I do kind of wish you can change the matte to maybe like a different color, maybe like a light gray or something like that, maybe brown for certain photos. But as is, I mean, this looks very nice. Next thing we're going to take a look at is how this would mount to your wall. Obviously, I have this on a tabletop right now, just so I can shoot the video. But I think a lot of people are probably going to use this as a photo frame. So the very interesting or very creative way is what they did here is that the back of the TV is flat. But there is also a cutout here where the mount would get installed. So how this works is you would install the slim TV mount, and it kind of sits inside of this indentation, so that way once you mount it to your wall, this would sit as flush as possible against your wall. So what you're going to do now is you're going to remove one of these screws that are already pre-installed into the back of the TV, and then we are just going to use that screw to install a slim mount. So once that is installed, what you're going to do now is you're going to pull these out like so. These are the little hangers. Now how this works is we're going to take the other side. You can see that these have these little kind of flat hooks. There's 3 on each side. There's 3 there, and there's also 3 on the opposite side. If this is mounted on your wall like so, these little hooks or the little grab bars are going to slide right against here, both sides. They'll interlock. So if this is your wall, they're going to hang on the mount, and then it'll press down just like that. And then there are actually magnets on each one of these mounts, so that way once you get it fixed, it'll just lock together with magnets, so that way it keeps it nice and flush against the wall. So that's a pretty ingenious way of how they use this mounting system. I didn't want to get this TV in because I wanted to look at Van Gogh paintings in my home theater. I wanted to get this in because I think this is the perfect TV to use as a digital movie poster. So the idea here is that I'm going to mount this vertically. So I'm going to take these mounts and I'm going to put this on these mounting points here. And so this way we can mount the TV vertically. So you're going to have to remove those pre-installed screws, which now you can see these are now on the side of the TV. So when I mount, it's going to be upright. The only thing that is keeping you from mounting this vertically is that you cannot affix these to the actual wall plate because there are these little stoppers here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this part here. You can see this is keeping the little flat hooks on the TV mount side from actually locking in. So we're going to have to take this and then we're going to have to bend it. We have to bend that and then flatten that down. So that way we can get the mounts to lock on. All right, so after a couple of minutes with a hammer, you can see that I've actually knocked this back. I was able to bend that little piece back so that it's not perfectly flat, but it's no longer getting in the way of me sliding in the little flat brackets into these little hooks. So let's go ahead and give it a little test fit. Check that out, there you go. So now we are able to mount this vertically. Now keep this in mind, depending on if you're mounting it from the left side or the right side, these little mounting holes are not centered with the TV, so you're going to have a little bit more space either on the left side or on the right side. So plan accordingly once you get this situated, once you start mounting this on your wall. All right, so the next thing we're going to want to do is we are going to go into the art mode. We're going to go up to photo collections. We're going to go to my photos, hit the plus button. Then we are going to upload from mobile device. If you don't have any photos on your mobile device, you can of course upload from a USB stick. So you can download whatever you want to download, all your movie posters from your PC or your Mac, put them on a USB stick, which would probably be the easiest way to do it. But for me, I have downloaded some photos from my phone. So I'm going to go here, use that. Now you're going to have to scan the QR code with your camera. Then here it's going to open up the upload photos section on your phone. Click on select, and then you can see that I have downloaded a few movie posters here. Click on done. We're now going to click select and then pick the photos that we want to upload. So I'm going to upload these 3. Click on done, and then it should go straight to the television set. And as you can see, now here they are. They have now shown up. So let's go ahead and click on the first one. So here I still have the matte turned on, but let's go ahead. I'm going to turn that off because it's cutting off some of the image there. So here we go. So now we have the F1 movie poster. We can scroll over to the next one. Here we've got the Fantastic Four. Then this one I made on my Mac with Photoshop. So I did put a coming soon at the top, which you can do yourself. And then if you click the menu button and then you go over to the art mode once again, you can change the rotation time. So I've got it at every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds, it's going to scroll to the next movie poster. All right, so now that we have all of the images uploaded to the display, you can see I now have this mounted on my wall. The only thing that I have to do next is to hide this power cable and relocate this behind the display so that way you don't see it. That's why I'm standing in front of it so you guys don't see it, but that's going to be at another time. The reason why I went with the 55-inch set was because if you go to the movie theaters, or if you want to pick up a one sheet, that's what they call it, a one sheet dual-sided poster, movie theater poster, the actual size for a movie theater poster is 27 by 40. The size for a 55-inch TV set is 27 by 49. So it is going to be a little bit taller than an actual movie theater poster. So that leaves the opportunity to do something like this, is to put, you can put like the name of your theater, the coming soon logo, you can put like now playing, now featured, whatever you want in that empty space, or leave it blank on the top and the bottom to give it a more cleaner look. So it's just showing the movie poster. So if you are handy, you can go into Photoshop like I did and then add whatever text or any kind of little design flares that you want. I did paint the trim. So I went from that teak color, and I went over to Home Depot. I picked up some Behr, I believe the color's called soft charcoal paint. It's supposed to have like a suede finish, like a soft touch finish to it, which it does. It has a very slight, almost sandy texture to it, which I think really blends in well with the color scheme of my room here. That was an easy project. It took like a couple of coats just to cover up that entire wooden color, or you can keep it wood, whatever you want to do. So the very cool thing about this is that because this does have such a matte screen, it almost gives the poster almost kind of like a backlit glow. So if you've ever been to the movie theaters, what they would do, they would just open up the front of the movie poster frame, they would pop in the movie poster, close the door, and then the light would project from behind the frame through the poster. So it gives the poster an actual very light glow. So with the matte screen, and if you put the backlight low enough on the display, it almost gives you a very nice, kind of like a faux glow from behind the image. So it looks almost like the real deal, like a real deal physical paper movie poster. So that is really cool. Now I know that they make software for this very specific purpose, where you can download and install on PCs, little PC sticks, and mount them behind the TV set. But I wanted to go as simple as possible and just use whatever was built into the TV. So I think that this is, for all intents and purposes, like the perfect solution for something that's really simple, that doesn't cost anything else extra, that just works. Of course, with the other external solutions, third-party solutions, you can have it tie into your media player or like your Kaleidoscape and have it show the poster, whatever is playing on here, or you can just manually do it yourself from the Hisense. So, I mean, there are some cool things about those third-party options that this obviously is not going to do. But if you just want to keep it really simple, then I think this has got to be one of the best solutions out there. Another deciding factor with me wanting to go with the Hisense is if you were to pick just a standard 55-inch TV, I mean, you can get TVs nowadays that are like $200-300, but the design on those, they usually have kind of larger humps on the back, or maybe they might not be symmetrical. This here is symmetrical. It's designed to be symmetrical, just like a painting canvas, hence the canvas name. So this looks perfect. It only sticks off the wall by maybe ½ an inch. That's between the back wall and where the frame starts. So that's really negligible. If you want to make your own frame and just cover up that gap, you could do that as well, but I think it's not really that much of a big deal. But as you can see, you can use the remote control. You can cycle through all of the available movie posters that you have uploaded, and this looks awesome. I mean, I've been waiting for a television set such as this to use for this very purpose, and I think once you're done with your home theater, you have all your AV gear situated, you're on to just your popcorn machine and your other accessories. I mean, this is kind of like the finishing touch for HT accessories, the digital movie poster. This is the winner. I mean, if you have the spare change, you can swing it. I think this is the perfect set for the digital movie poster. Well, what are your thoughts on digital movie posters? Have you thought about picking up one of these frame TVs for your own digital movie poster in your home theater? Or are you using something different? Leave your comment down below and let me know. I will leave some links down below in this video's description if you want to pick one of these up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.